Hey guys, this is John. For this episode coming up, Paul was out of town and Eric and I decided to kind of go over what was coming up in the rest of 2019 that we were looking forward to. And then the episode just kind of got clustered even more with some stuff just my daughter had to go to the hospital and we got started late. So then it was just me and him and my son at home. So there's random spots in this episode that Noah kind of comes in and out and we pause it. So there's maybe some weird breaks in there. And then finally at the end of the episode, we let him sit with the headphones on and talk to us, which actually turned out to be funny. We enjoyed it. But so just kind of a preface to this episode. It was like one big clusterfuck. But we talk about what's coming up in 2019. So enjoy. All right, and we're back. This is John.
It's Eric.
And it's What If Geeks. We are essentially Paulus.
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 Sounds like a disease.
Yeah, I think you need penicillin.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paul's out of town, so Eric and I are just kind of hanging out. We figured, since it's middle of the year, Eric came up with a really good idea of since it's the two of us and we don't want to miss out on kind of the three of us picking anything apart or poking fun at each other, maybe the two of us can just sit here and kind of talk about the remainder of 2019 and what we're looking forward to. So we figured we'll look at movies and TV shows and whatever else that we're kind of excited about, and we'll kind of take it from there. So all right, so in what's coming up, this kind of it's like a bigger version of What Are You Into? So on that note, just going back, let's see, today is what, the 16th?
Today is the 16th. And
Okay.
I'm actually a little bit excited because there have been not really any great movies that have come out over the past 6-8 months. I mean, there's been a few here and there, but it's been sprinkled, right? Usually you can get excited about movies at least once a month or once every couple months. There's been shit. But I'm really excited about what's coming up for the rest of the year. There's a whole bunch of stuff.
Well, yeah, last year, it kind of started to pick up steam where, there used to be a kind of you had your summer blockbusters and you had the holiday where you had your family movies that you went to go see, right? And then something happened along the way, and I guess thank God or whoever you want to pray to that there are so many people making this much good shit that they spread it out. Deadpool proved you can make a hit in February, whatever. And now it seems like there's something I want to see every other week, at least, minimum. Mm-hmm. I've got so many effing movies I want to see that are competing for my money. It drives me crazy.
Yeah, I've got one every week or two, too, at least for the next few months.
Yeah, and I've had them all this year. I told Heather.
Yeah, we talked about
this
this on a previous episode. You said, I'm competing here. I've got 5 different movies I want to see for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, 2018 was bad. 2019 was even worse. I'm waiting for 2020. This is going to be ridiculous. But, I want to go back 1 week only because it's kind of in the vein of Sharknado. I want to see Crawl. Have you seen the preview to this thing?
No, I have not.
It's basically a mega storm hits and a town gets flooded and there's a shit ton of alligators in the water, just eating people in their houses and shit.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, but it's one of those I love Sharknado because I love this campy shit. I mean, you know this. I made you watch The Room, but I love that.
I feel like this movie was made for Floridians.
That's what I'm saying. They're Crawl, the storm of the century, and then there's alligators, whatever. And I was or Florida on a Tuesday.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So I really want to see that. I don't think it's going to be any good at all. I saw the trailer and I was like, ugh.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing I'll wait for to pop on TV, probably.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I'll try to stream it somewhere. It looks like they put some money into it, though.
Really?
I mean, yeah, at least more than Sharknado.
Is it like photorealistic CGI alligators?
Yeah,
or is it really in the vein of Sharknado with some ridiculous?
No. It's more realistic, and it's kind of like you barely ever saw the gators in the trailer, so it was kind of like Bruce the Shark in Jaws. You don't see him. There was a reason for that. He was fucking broken, but there was like it looked. I don't want to say it looks good because the entire premise of the movie is just stupid to me. But I want to see it because I guess I'm into self-abuse or something.
Yeah, glutton for punishment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So how about you? Do you got anything that you haven't seen yet in the last couple of weeks?
That's already popped out? Well,
Yeah.
Of course I got to see Far From Home.
Yeah, you're killing me on that.
Yeah. No, I was actually, it was really funny. I was going to take, so my wife's out of town. I was going to take the kids to see it yesterday after dinner, but my daughter texted me and she's like, she was out in Mount Dora or whatever, and she texted me and said, I'm going to go see Far From Home. I'm like, God damn it. I was going to take you guys to see that tonight. So I ended up just skipping it. But I'll get over there. I'll get over there sometime, maybe this week, and see it.
Yeah, we definitely got to do a review on that. Between you and Paul,
has Paul seen it? Did Paul see it? Nah,
he hasn't.
Yeah, he's got to do catch up too.
Yeah, so you both kill me.
Sorry, I heard it was really good. Not just from you. I just reading the reviews and stuff. It seems
it's
like
amazing.
Yeah,
but I keep laughing at the fact that I keep calling a Spider-Man movie amazing because Amazing Spider-Man. Duh. But all right. So you got to see that one. Now coming forward, really soon. Obviously, you got The Lion King.
Yeah, so Friday the 19th, right?
Yep.
That's Lion King.
Yeah.
So I made the mistake earlier today of reading a bunch of critic reviews on this, and now I really, really don't want to see it.
I saw the reviews too. It's like halfway. It's like mediocre.
Yeah,
best,
I think the worst one I read was from this guy named Matthew Goldberg or something. It doesn't matter what his name was. I suppose I should probably write it down to give him credit. But no, I mean,
thanks, Matt.
It's the one that really got me reading. Like, oh fuck, I don't want to see this. So anyway, he said basically the story is a complete do-over. There's almost nothing new in it at all. And then he said the fact that they did the photorealistic, like it's not real animals, obviously, right? But it's photorealistic. They look like real animals. But he partway through his little diatribe about how it wasn't any good, he was talking about, what the problem is with photorealistic animals in a movie? Well, animals don't have facial expressions. They're not humans. They're not monkeys. You can't do shit with it, right? So it's like Simba's sad face looks exactly the same as Simba's happy face, right? So the whole thing relies on the voicing of the actors.
So they're all played by Kristen Stewart?
Yeah, basically. But no, so the whole thing is like totally relying on. So he's like, there's nothing to justify this movie. There's no new storyline. There's no... new themes, new elements. There's nothing except for that. It's really cool photorealistic rendering of everything, right? And they look super real, and it's cool. But the whole thing relies on the fact that there's celebrity actors with like really good voice acting going on, right? And there is, right? So they brought in James Earl Jones, which is too obvious for Mufasa, right? Yeah. But then they got Donald Glover doing Simba as an adult, and they've got Seth Rogen doing Pumbaa, and they got John Oliver doing Zat. They got like a bunch of Zazu. They got a bunch of famous people into it, and I can understand how the people that they picked probably have like serious, like emotion behind their acting or whatever. But I can get what the guy's saying. It's like it's not a new story, and it's really just about the voice actors.
Well, yeah, and I think there's something to be said about once you take any human out of it completely. Like, all right, this is Jon Favreau, and he did an amazing job with Jungle Book, right? Mm-hmm. But you had that kid in there that was playing off of the CGI, which literally it was like him and a rock. It was fucking stupid, but it was amazing what they did, right? Mm-hmm. But what he also did in there was, while it was pretty much the same movie, there was a little bit of difference. Like, he touched on the songs, but there are some other songs in there and whatever, there was a few.
Well, right, that's been the theme though, right? So we talked about Aladdin several weeks back.
Yeah,
and
where it
they
wasn't
did add
everything.
some
They
new
add some
elements. There's some new songs, some of which.
But the same thing you said is what I'm reading, where it's almost a shot for shot remake.
Yeah.
And if you do that, and you have no human element.
Yeah.
Now that's like
this guy made that same point. He said even like the camera angles are the same as they were for like the cartoon cells. Like,
and I can see like if you do like that iconic shot of him walking with Timon and Pumbaa on the log, whatever. Mm-hmm. You do certain shots like that are the same. Cool. But then you do your own thing.
Yeah.
If you're doing a shot-for-shot remake, it's going to be bad. I mean, I'm going to see it because my family wants to see it, but I'm like, I'm like in the same camp as you now where I'm like,
Yeah, I'm not.
The reviews, excited. I'm not,
So we're already committed. We're going this weekend, the weekend after it opens, but I'm not very excited anymore. I don't know that I was excited to begin with, but I'm less excited now.
Right. All right. How about Hobbs and Shaw? That's August 2nd. That's the next one.
Oh, I have one sooner, actually.
Oh, okay.
Can we skip? So have you seen this Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yeah, I saw the trailers for it. It looks really good.
So a few things that are relevant about this, anyway, for this geek stuff. So it's Quentin Tarantino.
Right.
He says that it's going to be his second to last movie ever.
Yeah, because it even says on there like his ninth movie.
Yep. Yeah. He said he's making one more movie and that's the end of it.
Yep. And he said that for years. He's always said he's going to make 10 and then be done.
Yep.
I don't
Apparently
know. A brain like that.
So the critic reviews on this now part of this could be the hype, but the critic reviews on this have been like off the scale. Like
really,
they're super good. Like I've heard people compare it. So it's coming out around the 25th anniversary of no, not 25th. Whatever, Pulp Fiction. Anyway, it's some anniversary of Pulp Fiction, but people were comparing it back to Pulp Fiction, saying like the sort of unique elements of it are all there or whatever. So
cool.
I mean, the premise of it is that there's an actor, and this is like 1969, I think, Hollywood.
Yeah.
And so there's an actor and then his stunt double. So the actor is played by Leonardo DiCaprio, and then the stunt double is played by Brad Pitt.
Yeah, and I love that part of the trailer.
Yeah,
you know, like, I carry your load.
And then there's a third person that's played by Margot Robbie. Is that her name?
Yeah, and she's really the reason I want to watch this.
Yeah, right.
I'm in love with that girl.
So, I guess the idea is though it's like disparate stories that end up they don't seem like they're related, but they ended up tying together, like Pulp Fiction was, you know. Mm-hmm. And it happens like in little chapters over just a few days or whatever. And so the whole thing plays out, and it's apparently based on some real life stuff from
the Manson murders, right?
The Manson murders is the last chapter. That last chapter of the movie takes place the day before the Manson murders happen.
Okay.
So it's like people are seeing some of the stuff on the news and whatever, I guess. But I'm trying to remember. It was based on a real life actor. Burt Reynolds. So a lot of the stuff in the movie is based on Burt Reynolds, and he had a stunt double named Hal Needham that would later become a director, but like he's taken like real elements out of their life and put them into the movie. So it's not about them and it's not based on them per se, but he's just taken things from the real world. Okay. And it's all apparently based on a novel he had written, Tarantino had written over the course of like 5 years when he was like early into Hollywood and he was trying to like break in or whatever. He wrote this novel, which he never released or anything.
Right.
And then he let DiCaprio and Brad Pitt read it, and that's sort of what I guess branched, off onto making this a movie or something.
Sure.
So it could be really cool. I think it could be really good. I've liked some of the more recent stuff DiCaprio has done.
Yeah, me too.
And Brad Pitt's always interesting. So
yeah.
So I think it could be really cool. And if it's Pulp Fiction style, I mean, the fucking movie's great. Who wouldn't love that movie? But
yeah,
and it's Tarantino. Yeah. So
I was interested in it. I just didn't. I didn't throw it on the list because I wasn't sure how close to the geek shit, and I had 3 pages of shit.
I think you
here.
throw in Tarantino with that shit. I mean,
yeah,
come on.
yeah, he's right in our wheelhouse. Yeah. You're right. No, you're right. All right, so then, now we'll go to Hobbs and Shaw.
All right, Hobbs and Shaw.
A movie I didn't want to like. I'm going to tell you that right now, straight up. I did not want to like it just because I'm like, you're doing a spin-off of a movie that just like went way off base of what it was in the beginning, but. It's kind of like, for me, all the Fast and Furious are like right up there in the movies where I can just like shut my brain off and just, okay, yeah, dumb shit's going to happen and I know it is. I just have to like suspend belief a great deal, but we're going to suspend belief a great deal. It was kind of like watching WWE with cars or whatever. It's weird, right? So then they do the Hobbs and Shaw spinoff, and
So
they
this was
straight up
based
at least
on,
give you an idea.
Yeah, this was based on like Fast and the Furious 7.
Well, the last few since like The Rock showed up.
Well, they
Dwayne
started
Johnson.
like on 7,
Yeah,
2015
Hobbs
or
was-
whatever. Yeah,
Right, Hobbs was a special agent chasing
yeah.
after
Shaw's
them.
the outcast, lawless, whatever.
Yeah. He's
British military guy or whatever. The fuck
right.
it is.
So kind of gets a turn at some
I
point.
hate
in
these
there.
movies, by the way.
I don't want to like them, but it's like I've got that like I'm the what do they call it? The lowest common denominator.
Yeah.
I've got that side of me that just loves these movies. What's up, Luke? Hang on, no, I just walked in. All right, so anyway, where the hell were we? Oh, Hobbs and Shaw. Okay.
Hobbs and Shaw, yeah. So while you were gone, it's going to feel weird with the editing break, I think. But
Yeah, it's fine.
I pulled up the description on this movie because you said suspend disbelief, and that is actually every Fast and Furious movie ever. But I want to read this description to you because it's really hilarious. So this is the official IMDb explanation, I guess.
For Hobbs and
right?
Shaw.
Yeah, for Hobbs and Shaw. Yeah. So ever since hulking lawman Hobbs and lawless outcast Shaw first faced off in 2015's Furious 7, the duo have swapped smack talk and body blows as they've tried to take each other down. All right, here's where it gets amusing. But when cyber-genetically enhanced anarchist Brixton, played by Idris Elba, gains control of an insidious bio-threat that could alter humanity forever, and bests a brilliant and fearless rogue MI6 agent, the Crown's Vanessa Kirby, who just happens to be Shaw's sister, these two sworn enemies will have to partner up to bring down the only guy who might be better than themselves. This fucking movie is ridiculous, man. Everything about it.
You've seen the trailers, right?
Yes.
You can't miss a trailer.
Yeah, no, yeah.
There's no way you haven't seen it because you've gone to the movies at least once in the last 6 months. Okay, again, from the beginning with the Fast and Furious. All right, the first one, it was a smaller movie, whatever, right? Okay, I liked it. Then it seemed like it was going to be kind of an anthology type of movie where it had one or two characters, but it wasn't this like team that was constantly together, right? And again, because of the Hobbs and Shaw thing I've mentioned on here before, Noah got interested and he wants to watch it, so he watched the first Fast and Furious and then went out and bought like a whole bunch of Fast and Furious cars. Because they are in stores, by the way, because Hobbs and Shaw is coming out. So, of course, all these stores are like, what do we got from 2001? Boom, put it on the shelf. So, they, you're on the wrong headset. It shouldn't really make a difference. But
Sorry, Paul, if my sweat is on your ear next week.
that's what you get for being out of town, fucker. So, anyway... So he was all into the Fast and Furious shit. Like, you see the boxes. I kept the boxes from his cars up there, right?
Yeah.
So he waited to watch Too Fast, Too Furious with me. So I got home from work and we watched it. I forgot how god-awful this movie is. Like, horrendous. It's like the acting. And again, there is definitely something to be said about a director can get better acting. Certain directors can get better acting out of certain actors, you know, because Paul Walker was not the best actor in the world. I'm very, geez, it was bad, but I mean, at least in some of them, it seemed a little bit better. In that one particular one, it was just god awful. And then we skipped Tokyo Drift completely just because Noah was like, "There's nobody from the series that he knows in it." I'm like, well, all right, later you'll see Han, who's in Tokyo Drift, but just know that one dude that's in the menu there, he's in later, and that's all you need to know about that one, as far as I know. So we're still, like, getting ready to watch the rest of them, where at least they get good for Noah, and then that's pretty much why I'm watching this shit again. The Hobbs and Shaw thing, for me, I laughed, because, yeah, like you, I'm like, this whole series has just gone... It got ludicrous for me, literally, I guess. I mean, he's in the damn movie. It just got ridiculous, like, a few movies back. But, like, last one when Dwayne Johnson's,
a few movies
like,
in. Hell, a few movies back.
Yeah, it gets worse and worse because they gotta go above and beyond, you know? There's one shot in one of them where Vin Diesel, like, saves Michelle Rodriguez and, like, goes from one overpass to another.
Yeah.
and like slams himself into a windshield while he's protecting her, and he's fine. He's fucking fine.
You know, I feel like this movie took something that people really like car chase scene, car chase scenes in action movies and racing kind of stuff. And they just said, how the fuck can we write a script around this where we could just do this every like 35 seconds?
And it got,
and this shit was born. And then the writing wasn't about making a good plot or anything else. It was just about like, how can we jam in more of these fucking car racing scenes?
Okay.
Getaway drive.
The last movie, and this is an actual sentence I'm about to say. The Rock punched a fucking torpedo. Okay? So at that point, you know exactly what you're doing, right? To me, with the Hobbs and Shaw, because you knew that it was going to happen, because that's you got Dwayne Johnson, you're going to use him up as much as you can, right? A guy like Jason Statham, he's another one. He's good.
So
but at least they said, okay, Idris Elba, we jacked him up with like nanotechnology or something. They gave you a reason for it. Because now you've been getting into superhero territory and no explanation. Just like, no, this happens.
Well, because they have to up it every time.
Yeah, but at least they give you some type of like, okay, there's a reason this dude is running around like a maniac. Okay, he's got this tech inside him. Okay, fine. At least you gave something. Is it credible at all? No, but at least I know. You know what I mean? Like at least you tried to give it some type of science fiction type of spin on it now.
So by Fast and Furious X, there'll be gods coming down from the heavens.
Oh yeah, they'll be racing spaceships,
right? And they'll be beating them. And Dwayne Johnson will punch a god and knock him out or something.
Yeah, he's probably gonna like rock bottom Galactus. Yeah. And there's gonna be a crossover with Marvel,
and then teabag him when he's done. It's funny. They did the driver. I don't want to call it an offshoot because it wasn't really an offshoot, but they did those driver movies with. I mean, those were actually better. I think like they had more of a storyline. They were more sort of like 007-ish or something. Not sure. That's maybe not the right term to use, but there was more to it. I just can't do Fast and Furious. I can't get into it, man.
Yeah, like I said, I get a kick out of it because I've got that like lowest common denominator side of me that I'm just like hey, what can I say? I'm easily amused, and then I don't know. I don't apologize for it. I just accept it and fucking roll with it. I am easily entertained, so I am entertained all the time because it's just life.
That is.
But we've spent enough time on Hobbs and Shaw, believe me.
Okay, so we're gonna that's August 2nd?
That's August 2nd.
Okay, so my next one's 9th. What's yours?
Mine too.
9th? Oh.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Are we on the same one? We can't be.
I don't know.
All right, so I got this one that is a little bit Ghostbuster reboot-esque. It's The Kitchen. Have you seen this? All right, so the premise of this is it's a mob drama, right? Okay, so we can all get into mob things. We've talked about Godfather. Okay, good, fine.
Sopranos, I want to see this.
Great, all right. But so the premise of this is that...
I hate myself that I want to see it, but go ahead.
So this is like 1978, I think, is what they said it was set in. New York City. And this is specifically about like a couple dozen blocks between like 8th Avenue and Hudson River in New York that the Irish Mafia owned back in the late 70s, right? And so... there are these women, these three women, and all their husbands are in jail. And the mafia, the Irish mob, is supposed to be taking care of them, but they're not giving them shit. They're giving them like little bits of money here and there. They don't have shit to pay their rent and buy food. And there's this scene on one of the trailers where the three women are together, and they're bitching about how these guys really aren't giving them enough to survive or whatever, and then what are we going to do about it? And they're like, let's remind them why we're a family or some shit, right? And so there's several things that make me question this. This could be good. It could be really good. But there's several things that make me question it. So one is the premise of the three wives sort of taking over their husbands' responsibilities, we'll say, right? Which was really criminal activity, and it's very clear from the trailers that they're acting like enforcers and shit, though, like to do their husbands' jobs, right? They're protecting the pawn shops and collecting money from people, and it's hard for me to kind of get my mind around how they do this. And then I think in an effort, okay, so I should say that This was originally based on something that was written years ago.
It was
right?
a book, yeah.
Yeah, years ago,
I forget
before
the name
any
of
of
it.
the modern sort of feminine power stuff that's been coming out.
Yeah,
right?
it's older. Yeah,
So you could say it's produced for that reason. Now, but there's a couple things here that make me wonder, and I don't know the book or the novel or whatever. I never read it. I don't know anything about it. But one of the wives is black, which, again, no issue here for me. But late 70s Irish mob, they married a black woman into the mob family, and they make almost jokes about it in some of the previews where she's like, "Oh, they didn't want me in here anyway." Well, that would have been the truth, but
back then, right? Yeah.
But now that you're going to,
there are a few instances of that similar where I don't want to say agenda casting necessarily, but it kind of is.
Well, that's what I wonder. Is it a black woman in the original book, or did they just do that for the movie? Because I don't know. Maybe it was written that way.
But it's not just this movie, because I've seen it a couple times where I'm like, like where they put it in a scene somewhere, but it's set way back when, and I'm like, now I know, okay, the whole you love who you love, whatever, but back then when it wasn't quote unquote accepted, you wouldn't have seen it as much as they try to portray it in these films and TV shows. So it kind of, so I don't know. I mean, we'd have to go back and look at the book, and I'd be interested to see.
I would too, and I should have looked this up before today. But there's a few things that make that really funny.
Before disparaging the one black actress in the movie.
Because Tiffany Haddish plays the black woman who's the wife, right? And she is the one person in that cast of women who is believably like she could be an enforcer,
right?
She could fuck some people up, right?
Melissa McCarthy,
because
the other one.
Melissa McCarthy, right? That's fucking Dina from the Gilmore Girls, and what the hell else was she in? Ghostbusters. The Ghostbusters. No,
let's not speak of that again.
Yeah, but she was the Abby in the Ghostbusters reboot, right? Which was a fucking total flop.
Yeah,
and again. I'm not going to say anything, but then and the last one is probably the worst choice ever. And not that I don't like her, I really like her as an actress, but Elizabeth Moss. So she plays June or Offred in the Handmaid's Tale. If you watch that thing, no. So the whole premise of that, she's like the most subversive, submissive. It's just ridiculous.
So you don't see her in that kind of role.
And then the other thing she was in was Peggy. She was Peggy in Mad Men. If you ever watched the series Mad Men about
I remember seeing clips of it. I never watched it, but yeah.
Again, she was like, the whole point of that show was about how men were so dominant and women got put in the back, and she played one of those sort of women in the back.
Right.
That was trying to come out but couldn't do it over the sort of like male-dominated thing, right? So you cast a couple people who are unbelievably mobsters.
Right.
And then one that's believably mobster-ish, but doesn't fit what makes sense for 1978 Irish Mafia.
Right. No, okay, I agree with everything you said. Also agreeing with you where this might be good if they, let's say they play on some of the other guys in the mob, like the women play on their loyalty to their husbands.
So I hope it's that.
You know what I mean?
Because that's
the only way you can realistically...
Yeah, and this isn't a women need help, because if you look at any mafia movie, they've got their own enforcers, they've got their executors, they've got their assassins.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with whether or not you're a woman.
You always have people that are going to do tasks for you, right?
Yeah,
if they
you're
do
coming
it
into
that
power,
way, I'm good.
Yeah, if you're coming into power, regardless of if you're a woman or not, because and we're not even going to get into the whole we're going to apologize for any kind of stance we take, because one, we believe in equality all across the board, and two, we've said it nine times out of 10. We just get aggravated with the agenda casting constantly. And three, we don't have to apologize to anybody, because there's like 3 people that listen to us, and they all agree with us. So fuck it, whatever. I don't care. If you tell the story the right way, it's going to be a really good story.
Yeah.
But anyone who comes into power, especially like in the Irish mob or the Italian mob, whatever, they have to have the respect of those people, or there's going to be infighting. So if they play it where, okay, these women are coming in because they are rightfully pissed off that they're not getting taken care of, which in most mob movies that you watch, you see when the husbands go to jail, the families don't get really taken care of that well, and they got to scrape and do whatever they got to do to take care of themselves, right? Mm-hmm. So these 3 take it upon themselves. So we'll get rid of any other bias as far as who we think would play the role better or whatever, right? If they just do the story of they come in because they need to take care of their families, and everything's a shit show, and they get the guys that are really loyal to their husbands to help them, and then to follow them.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
Because I would totally love that movie.
Yeah, the point at where it's going to break for me is if they have like Melissa McCarthy beating somebody down with a bat and Elizabeth Moth pulling a gun on somebody.
Yeah,
and give me your money. Give me the money.
This I can see if they try it the first time and they fuck it up and they realize they need help or something. Yeah, because again, you're talking about 3 wives who are just home or whatever they're doing, right? But they're not in that life. As far as they're married to it and they know what's going on, but they're not in that life. And then they're just going to jump right into it. Yeah, there's got to be a little bit of a growth there.
So anyway, I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I think it'll be cool.
It's August 9th. August 9th, The Kitchen.
All right. Well, the other one I got on August 9th is Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
You didn't see that one? Holy shit. No. Yeah. Do you remember the books from when we were kids?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. They've made a movie about it. And I think it's Guillermo del Toro. Uh-huh. Yeah, I think it's him.
Oh, okay.
If I remember correctly. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. One of the two of you who even remotely give a shit.
We have like 3 people commenting now on posts.
Yeah, I know, right? Hey. That was one of your friends' comments now, and she even said like she can guest sometime, and I'm like, let's go.
Oh, that's my aunt.
Oh, it's your aunt.
Yeah,
okay,
she's my aunt. Yeah, it's my dad's youngest sibling, his youngest sister.
Yeah, there you go. She can jump in anytime she wants. So. What's her name again? I forgot.
Anne.
Yeah. I was going to say Anne, but I wasn't sure, so I didn't want to. Anne, you're welcome anytime. Just get in here. We need more opinions because then we'll look official.
Yeah, well, she. Anytime I go back home or whatever, and we do like a night hangout, she's one of those people that will talk like this, like all night long about whatever. Yeah, she's really fun.
Yep. So she'll fit in perfectly. that was the whole premise behind this damn podcast was we're sitting here bullshitting anyway. We might as well put a microphone in my face and see what happens. So the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. It's a handful of books that came up around the 90s, I guess.
That sounds
right. I forget. Sure, 80s, 90s. And they were pretty legit, like gruesome for kids. Yeah. I mean, there was one Harold about the scarecrow, remember? He's in the trailer. I see him in the trailer. There's one with like the
So is it like a compilation of the different stories in the books?
So it looks like they're going to compile a whole bunch of them, but I don't know how they're going to do it. As far as like if it's someone telling stories or if it's someone kind of like the Goosebumps thing where they find books. Or I don't know what they're going to do, but the trailer looks legit, and I'm like, I want to see this. So. We'll see. That's in a few more weeks. August 9th, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
So the first one was actually 81.
Wow. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and the last one was released in 91. So
okay, well,
you're 80s. In the zone anyway.
Yeah, ish.
Yeah, it could be really interesting.
You got anything else for the month of August?
August, let me see. August 21st. Angel Has Fallen. So 2 reasons I included this one. One, when we did our Patriot episode, we talked about like The Fugitive and anyway, this movie has a Fugitive-esque sort of vibe to it. So the concept is there's Morgan Freeman plays the president in this actually, and his top guardian angel is like the director of the Secret Service or whatever, played by Gerard Butler.
Yeah, and you can't go wrong with him.
Right, you can't.
Either one.
So they get attacked by like, it actually looks a little ridiculous in the preview, but they get attacked by like some crazy ass little tiny plane drones that are dropping bombs and exploding. Anyway, he basically gets blamed for it though. And so then he's a fugitive on the run, and they think he's trying to kill the president, and so he's the angel that has fallen, the guardian angel that has fallen. But they do this weird twist, like right at the end of the preview. So he's walking into the woods, and he runs into this like old ass man with a white beard that's all long and shit, and he's holding up like a shotgun at him or something, or rifle, and he's like, "What the hell are you doing here?" And it turns out that's his dad, right? So his dad is like apparently Alex Jones freak show, but he's gone to live in the woods or something by himself, and he doesn't want to be. He wants to be off the grid, and so his son goes and finds him and enlists his dad to sort of help him protect the president from actually getting killed by the person he's trying to do it, and then prove his innocence, clear his name, right? So if it wasn't Gerard Butler and Morgan Freeman, I wouldn't have included this. But because the two of them are in it, I actually like this, and I think I'm going to go.
Well, you've seen the other two, right?
Yeah.
You've seen the other two, right?
The other two, what?
This is a trilogy.
Oh, I didn't have any ideas of a trilogy.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Hey, welcome to class, kids.
Fuck, man. What are the first two?
Was Olympus Has Fallen and then London Has Fallen?
No, I haven't seen them at all. Where the hell are those?
Yeah, it was a while back now. Yeah, this is the third of a trilogy. Yeah. And they're good. I mean, again, it's not, I don't know, Shakespeare or whatever the hell they got. People always compare movies to again, lowest common denominator, whatever. Like, it's not this or that, whatever. It's your standard president's in trouble, this dude's going to protect him, and he's going to die hard it, whatever. And that's what those movies are. And they're fucking great. I love them.
I'm going to go off on a diatribe here that's unrelated because I made a comment to somebody the other day about how having access to all this information and shit with the internet and stuff, it doesn't make you smarter, right? Because you have to know what you're supposed to be looking for and you have to actually retain information. So I spent a fair deal of time today, or not today, but in the last few days, looking up movie stuff and background on them, and somehow, in probably I would guess at least 30 minutes of reading shit for this movie and writing half a page of notes for this one movie, I didn't know it was part of a trilogy. Like, how the fuck did that information miss me?
As you were reading it, I picked up, how I am with like people. I can just read shit in people. I read it in you. I'm like, he has no fucking clue. This is like,
not a fucking clue.
Yeah,
I thought it was standalone. And I have to ask myself, how was that never mentioned that this was part of a trilogy? I read multiple articles. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, okay. Like, the articles, I understand. Like, the trailer, they just assume, just like...
I think that's what it is. I read a review on this and who's in it, and it just never mentions it.
Yeah, look up, like... I think it was Olympus Has Fallen was the first one because it was in the White House. Because it was the same time that... who's the dude from Magic Mike? Channing Tatum.
Yeah.
He did White House Down. It was like the same exact time. You know how like Hollywood always makes like the same
two
fucking
movies
movie,
with the same fucking...
literally the same week?
We should do an episode on that because there are like 1,000 of them. And that the second one is not necessarily the bad one, but one of the two is always fucking awful. And it like doesn't compare and it flops, right?
Yeah.
Even though they're about the same goddamn thing.
Yeah, exactly. Hang on, I'm writing. Makes the same movie.
No, it is. It's always at least two versions of the same story that gets told, and it's usually like released within maybe a month or two of each other, which is really bizarre because they start filming those movies 9+ months movies ahead of time.
It's weird.
Like, how the fuck do they figure that out to like release them at the same week or a couple week time frame?
And then side note to that, where like I always laugh when you get the few Hollywood people that are like, oh, so-and-so stole my idea. Why don't we have more of that? We should have way more of that because there are so many movies like that is like, it's the same fucking movie. So like Channing Tatum did like The White House Down, which was, oof. Oh my God. What can you not say about that? That's going to be on our list with like The Room. We're going to have to watch some of these bad movies, just compare them. But Olympus Has Fallen, I think, was around the same time. If we look it up later, I think I'm going to be right. Olympus Has Fallen was the first one, and it was really good. And then they did London Has Fallen, so I'm sure he was like, Morgan Freeman, president, was at like London for a press conference or some shit. And then now they're doing Angel Has Fallen.
Yeah.
So it's a trilogy.
Well, I'll be damned.
All right, hang on. Noah's here again.
What do we got now?
I'm the only one home, so Noah needs help. All right, so let's see. Yep, there it goes. Bam.
So, okay, all right. So you were asking if that was it for August, and I think I saw an August.
I've got one last one
on your list,
August,
which was the Playmobil.
Yeah, and I only because again we'll go with my lowest common denominator factor. I'm only interested in this because of the Lego Movie. I just want because my viewpoint is they made this because Lego, fuck you, and we're gonna try to just go for the nostalgia factor.
This is the second one. This is the knockoff that'll never go anywhere, I think. We were just talking about the two movies.
Yeah, because you had Playmobil, and then before it was like, because you had like the Emoji Movie and whatever. After Lego, because Lego legit, they put money into it, and they have good writers. I don't know what Playmobil is going to be. Emoji Movie, I never watched it, thank God, because I mean, whatever. But there also was a rumor, and I haven't seen anything else about it, but right around the same time they were talking about the Emoji Movie and this and whatever, they were talking about a Pez movie.
Pez movie?
Pez.
Yeah,
Pez the candy.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yeah. And that's the appropriate reaction to a Pez movie.
I mean, Pez is not like a thing on its own. They capitalized on other characters from different movies.
Yeah, but you know what? So did Lego.
Okay, that's fair, I guess.
But
Batman is a big part of Lego.
But why a Pez movie? It's stupid. What's up, Noah? Noah's back again. Huh?
They said they couldn't.
Oh, they couldn't talk? Okay. Give me a few minutes. I'll be right there. I'll come check you out. So, I'm going to have to edit the hell out of this one.
Yeah. Okay, so I have
So I don't know if I really... I'm not necessarily looking forward to the movie. I'm just like... I want to see whether or not it's going to be a shit show.
Yeah. Okay, so I got a couple others for August, actually.
Okay, good.
So the first one is just a nod to Paul because he showed us the trailer for this. It was Blinded by the Light. So I think that premieres, let me see, Wednesday, August 14th. So that's the movie about I think he's Pakistani kid who likes Bruce Springsteen music. And he sort of develops a life philosophy around Springsteen music.
Yes. Okay, now...
Yeah, you remember Paul showed us that trailer maybe a month or two ago, and he was like, I'm actually kind of excited about this for the year.
Yeah, I remember that one. All right,
so I'm just throwing that out there as a nod. I don't know anything about... I don't think the actors are famous. I don't know who produced it or direct. I know nothing. Okay, but I do, and I think I said this on the episode, he brought it up, but I like the sort of cinematic thing they did where the lyrics... Because the movie is about his lyrics and what they mean, right? So the thing where the lyrics are shot up on walls while the song is playing, and they're floating around the kid's head, and I kind of like that.
Sure.
That cinematic vibe that they've done. I don't know what the hell the right word is. That visualization they've done with it. But other than that, I'm not. And this is a Pakistani kid in Britain or something like that. It's hard to imagine something that's less connected to me, but.
Yeah, I get it. And when he showed us the trailer, I was intrigued by it. Not as intrigued as I am by Yesterday. That one really hit me. I was like, I really want to watch that movie. I forget when it comes out, too. That should be on my list, but it's not. Oh, well.
So anyway, that's a nod to Paul, and he'd probably be right over both of us, and it'll be great. But just thought I'd throw it in there. I had one other for August before you skip, and I know it's coming. I know that it is coming. I know it's on the top of your September. It's on top of my September, too.
I might as well have highlighted that fucker.
This last one I actually ran into. I have not heard one thing about this. I haven't seen previews for it until today. I actually came across it today, and I was like, oh, shit. So it's called Good Boys. So it's going to come out Friday, August 16th. August 16th, Friday, August 16th.
That sounds really familiar.
It was produced by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, who did the Superbad movie.
It's the kids that are cursing up a storm.
Neighbors,
yes.
And then Sausage Party, which is probably the worst thing they ever did because I don't know what the hell that movie's about. But
wow.
So on top of that, the writers that they hired for this movie to do the screenplay writing, they did Office and Bad Teacher. So it is like a conglomeration of comedic minds, right?
Yeah.
That are funny in a vulgar way, okay? But where this movie takes could be a bad twist, could be fucking hilarious, is that all the fucking actors are 11-year-old kids. All of them.
Yes. And I remember it. As soon as you said Seth Rogen, I was like, oh my God, I remember this trailer. Because the trailer that I watched was literally him in the beginning, he's telling the kids they can't watch their own trailer.
Yeah.
Because it's that bad.
Yeah.
And I remember it because I showed it to Paul. This was BE, before you. Before Eric.
Oh, shit. I get an age now.
Huh? That will never stop now. That will not stop being funny to me. So, yeah, it was before you got here. I forget. I caught the trailer and I about pissed my pants. He hadn't seen it. I showed it to him, and then we commented on it for a little while. I forget what episode it was. It was like when the trailer first dropped. But yeah, it looks funny as shit.
So I ran it across it today. I watched 2 PG-13 trailers, but it's very obvious that those trailers are edited in a way to block out the nastiness that's happening. So,
I watched the Red Band trailer.
Oh, I didn't do that. I did that,
dude.
But
it's like Stranger Things meets fuck you. I don't know what to say.
Well, so the first trailer I watched,
Stranger Things on Tourette's. There you go.
Tourette's, yeah.
There you go.
So the first trailer I watched, right at the beginning, one of the kids is holding up, I don't know, it looks like an asparagus stalk. I have no idea what the hell it is. It's green though. It's green and it's thick, and he's just kind of holding it up. And he's like, "What the hell is this?" And one of the other kids said, "I know what that is. It's a tampon." And then the other kid's like, "What the hell is a tampon?" And then this kid says, "Oh, girls stick it up their butt so they don't get pregnant or something," right? I'm like, Jesus Christ, right? And that's just like a primer into how inappropriate just the preview with no offensive words gets.
It's amazingly inappropriate.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think. You could take this too far. It could be like a sausage party where it's like no longer funny. It's just
like the last
vulgar.
Spoiler alert for sausage party, where like the last 10 minutes is a food orgy.
Yeah,
really.
It could be inappropriately vulgar.
Funny.
Like it's not even that amusing anymore because it's just too weird.
Yeah,
it's just like you threw up profanity and inappropriate ideas out of your mouth.
Yeah, it
could be really funny because they're playing off something that was in Superbad, which is a kid that's already kind of inappropriate, like saying things, and you fucking laugh at it once or twice, right? Now they can make the whole movie about that.
Yeah, but you see, now that's also that's their sense of humor. That's their area that they kind of dwell in. So just to get deeper into that pool, well, now all they're doing is they're going to the deep end now.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
So it could be really funny.
I'm looking forward to it.
It depends on how they do the themes, but it could be really funny. So this is probably one I may not go to the theater for, but I'm definitely watching. Definitely watching.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, if one of us finds a good stream of it, maybe all three of us watch that one together, and then jump right on the podcast.
Oh yeah. After we give our children up for adoption because we're no longer fit to be parents.
Oh, that's the deciding factor? Because, woof.
No. Just kidding.
I was like, damn.
All right. So we can cut off August. Let's go to September. I know what's at the top. I'll let you start it.
September 6th. Chapter 2.
It Chapter 2. Did you ever make it through that book, by the way? I know you've been struggling.
I am I've got about maybe 200 more pages left.
Oh,
yeah.
Jesus. You're really going slow.
Yeah, because I keep getting distracted to do whatever, family gets in the way, whatever. But I mean, plus I've read it literally 5 or 6 times.
So we had talked. I
just wanted to read it right before the new one comes out, so I could see how close. Yeah. Because I didn't get a chance to do it before the first one. Mm-hmm. I had the chance, I just didn't do it. So I wanted to I just watched that one. I want to read it before. And the first one did its thing, so I'm I am so dying to see what they do with this second one.
So this second one takes place, for everybody's benefit that's listening and doesn't know, this takes place 27 years after the first movie, right? Because there's a cycle that is portrayed in the book, and it's every 27 years.
Every 27 years, this thing feeds, and it feeds on fear, whatever, but it feeds on mostly children.
Yeah.
Not necessarily children all the time, but mostly children. But it's a dark entity, and that's all you know about it, as far as right now, anyway.
So all the kids from the Losers Club, as it's called, right, have all grown up, and in the movie they've moved away. And I'm not sure if that's reflected in the book or not.
It is.
It is okay. So they've all moved away, and then there's some moment, there's some precipice, there's the phone call or whatever that sort of brings them all back.
And that happens in the very beginning of the book. It starts with the phone call to Stan. See what happened. Basically, kind of jumping around the book. The book starts and it kind of jumps back and forth in time, but it starts with the phone call from Mike Hanlon, who is he's living in Derry, and he calls Stan because he's starting to call all of them to bring them together. Right. So, spoiler alert for all this shit. They made a promise at the end of the first movie to come back if they hadn't really killed it. Right. Same thing in the book. They kill it supposedly when they're kids, make a promise, a blood oath, to come back if they hadn't really killed it. 27 years later, everybody's moved away from the town except for Mike Hanlon. Mike Hanlon is the librarian, and he starts to see the same shit coming around, and then he keeps he's holding off, and then he starts to call them to say, hey, it's still going on. Meanwhile, the people that left, all 6 of the other losers, have become very successful in their lives. Like Ben Hascom's a very, very successful architect, blah, 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 whatever, right? Bill is a very successful writer, right?
Right.
So everyone's very, very wealthy now. He's like the one making like $20,000 a year as a librarian, sitting in this whole he's holding down the fort for them, right?
Right. And he's the one that notices everything.
They've forgotten it. It's like it's dead in their memory. There's like dead spots in their memory. They don't remember any of this shit until he calls them, and then they start to remember shit, and it builds from there. So I want to see how well they're going to play on that, with the calling them back and the spotty memory. Because the only trailer so far that you've seen is when Beverly goes back home.
Yeah,
and it's Jessica Chastain.
And she visits the old woman.
Yeah, because in the book, I literally just got past that part now. She goes in to look for her dad, and she thinks she sees his name on the doorbell, and she rings it, and then it turns out it's actually not Marsh, it's Kirsch. So the woman invites her in, and she goes, sit down, tea, blah, 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 whatever. And it plays out pretty much exactly like the trailer, which made me more excited. Because as I was reading it, I was like, yep. Because when I watched the trailer, I was like, wow, that played out as much as I remember it. And then I just read through it, and I was like, yeah, this played out like almost like shot for shot in my head, when I read it. So it looks like it's going to be amazing. I hope it is. Just like I also hope that this gives them a window for more directors like this to come in and pull more Stephen King shit to make it this good. Yeah. It was like Pet Sematary got mediocre reviews, I think, but it was better than what they said it was. To me, I thought it was better than what they said it was. The Dark Tower sucked. So I'm hoping they'll revisit that at some point, maybe as a miniseries or something.
I rewatched The Dark Tower maybe a few weeks ago, a month ago. I didn't think it was so bad. The second time around,
they tried to cram too much of the story into one.
Yeah,
movie.
I think we talked about this before. I don't have the book sort of tainting my.
Yeah. Now, and plus. The other thing that was tainting my vision of it was Ron Howard had sat down and mapped out a plan to tell this story, and no studio would buy off on it because it's an undertaking to do this, regardless of how you do it. But what he wanted to do was the first movie would be The Gunslinger, the first book, maybe lead into a little bit of the second book, and then it was going to go to a HBO or a streaming service or whatever to do a series.
Yeah.
Come back into maybe book 3 or 4 for the second movie. Back into the series to continue to flesh out all that shit. And then end in a trilogy kind of thing. Which was, to me, honestly, that was the only way to really do it. Because there's so much story there that, where again, I fought with myself until I accepted everything that they were putting forth on this movie, and then it's still kind of I don't know. It could have been better if they would have just taken their time, much like the DCEU.
Yeah.
Take your time. Don't bite off more than you can chew. This is an epic story. You have to take a little bit. If they would have, even Idris Elba, even though in the books there's nowhere in there that even remotely says Roland's a black guy. Fine. Because Idris Elba is Idris Elba. So, I will, I got that. That was cool in me. I was like, all right, good. Matthew McConaughey is an amazing fucking actor. He could have done this for a long time with this character, right?
I actually like his portrayal probably most of all in that movie. I really like it.
Yeah, it was just they tried to cram. They legit went from book 1 to 3 and crammed aspects of all 3 of them into one. And you were like, dude, just slow the fuck down. Because there's so much there you could have made, again, like the DCEU.
Yeah.
You could have made your Marvel where you, for the next 10, 15 fucking years, you've got a saga that you're telling.
Right.
You know, Star Wars, all that shit. You could have taken your time and told this really epic story, and they didn't. So, yeah. But, yeah, so I'm hoping that it nails it and then kind of progresses more Stephen King shit moving forward. Because I've heard there's, like, other shit coming.
Other shit coming. What do you mean?
Oh, like they're retelling some of his other stories, like the Langoliers and the Tommyknockers and blah blah blah. You know, they're looking at all of his shit. All right. After September 6th, I go to September 20th. What do you got?
Me too. Rambo: Last Blood.
Yep. Yeah. Rambo.
Okay. So,
dude, can we just close this series out now? This poor bastard. And I love these movies. Again, this is one of those shut my brain off and just watch it. He's going to kill a bunch of people. But so now Rambo is like retired back at his father's farm in Texas or some shit. Or not retired. He's been retired. He's been living on the land by himself. But he's home at his father's place.
Yeah.
Because that's where we left him last time. He was walking down the driveway and the mailbox said Rambo.
Yeah, so it's probably worth it to So this is called Last Blood, right? That's the title they gave it, which is obviously a play off First Blood.
Yes.
Which was the 82. It was a 1982 Rambo movie, First Blood, right? And so the premise of this movie is really quite ridiculous, to be honest with you. I mean, it didn't seem so at the time, but going back now and reading a bad description, whatever the hell we called, Explain Movies Badly recap of this, but it's not even explained badly, it's the truth. So a Vietnam vet goes back to a small town in Washington looking for his friend, right? And then the sheriff or whatever the fuck he was wants to be a dick, right? And so they restrain him and they shave him.
Yeah, they hit him with a cold hose and shit, yeah.
Right? And then he has flashbacks to being like a POW or whatever, and he goes all fucking
nuts.
nut bar on him, right? And he unleashes the fury, right? That's kind of what happens, right? And then his former commander or something, unit commander, some shit I can't remember, right? Has to come in and save the guys that he's hunting from him, right? So then when you see Last Blood, you wonder, what the fuck is that going to be about, right? What the hell is...
It looks like, from what I've read, it's the Mexican cartel. Like it's somebody's kids get caught up with the cartel, and he's right there at the border or whatever, so he gets involved and starts fucking people up.
So Stallone is a predictable actor, honestly.
A little bit.
Any role he plays, it's undeniably a Stone role. I don't think you can... Yeah. He doesn't play other characters, the characters play him, I think is how it goes. Yeah. Yes, yeah. But he's still fun to watch. And there's not much that I watch that I don't like from him. Even like Judge Dredd, which is kind of ridiculous. I like that movie, though.
Horrible, yeah. I still don't know what the fucking 3 shells are for. But anyway, but like you said, I just
that was
love
Demolition
him.
Man.
Oh, see? There you go.
Yeah,
whatever.
Judge Dredd was the one where he's wearing the crazy plasticized looking armor.
Anyway.
Either way, they're all the same movie because, like I said, he doesn't play characters play him.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. I'm thinking it literally is going to be the last one. I think he might die in the end of this one. But
he might die in real life
off.
Soon. I feel like he's going to be one of those, oh shit, Stallone's dead. We got to do a tribute episode or something.
We're going to have to. All right. We're going to speed around the rest of these because we're done with this quarter. And that'll be like the last quarter, October, November, December, leading into the new year. So we can have kind of...
Yeah, shit, we're on an hour already.
Yeah, and we can have Paul jump in. We can redo this. And I think mid to end September, we'll do another one of these where we really... I think we'll have more info on these. So I just kind of I wrote them down real fast. But we'll just do like a quick thought on each one of them. The only reason I wrote this down is because I was like, really? Apparently, there's a Doom Annihilation on October 1st.
Yep.
I thought the first one sucked.
This is going to be a reboot.
Oh, okay.
Of the original.
Okay.
I think with a female main. I think.
Okay, all right. We can kind of do a Resident Evil kind of thing.
Yeah, I think. Hold on one sec. Amy Manson. She's a Scottish actress.
Sure, I'll look her up later.
All right. Yeah.
All right, moving on from that one. That's all I got to say about that one. I had no interest in it at all.
I think we talked about this before. There's not very many good games to movies, and even the Dwayne Johnson. It was awful.
It was horrible.
It was really not worth it.
The fact that they're rebooting it made me laugh, but I was like, all right, cool.
All right, so we might watch this at home, but I'm not paying to go watch this in a theater, I don't think.
This will be like on a weekend after I've had a party, and I wake up and I'm like, oh, it's on. Okay, it's like on USA or some shit.
And what's the release date on that one?
The 1st of October.
1st of October. Okay.
Yep. All right, so then we got something that's very interesting. Joker. This is the Joaquin Phoenix. I think Martin Scorsese's involved with this one, right?
Is that right?
Yeah, and I forget who's actually directing it, but I think Scorsese's involved.
Todd Phillips is the director on this one.
Now, they've said this is not taking anything from any comic book. This is just a completely separate take on this character.
So this will be interesting because Todd Phillips, he really directs comedy movies. Like he did Road Trip, Old School, Starsky and Hutch, pseudo comedy action.
Sure.
The Hangover. That's his shtick, right?
Which is funny because you're naming all movies I like.
I know, but he's now going to do. You have to. I imagine that any Joker storyline, where did he come from, origin story, is going to be funny, but in a dark, sick fucking way.
Right.
None of these movies are that.
No. And all right, here's my take on it because my brother-in-law, when they first announced this, he said, "Hi, Derek." In case you ever listen, he was like, "Oh, he's so excited about this," and I said, "I personally, now again, I always go on the belief that I don't ever wish anything to fail. I think if you can do good, it means more good will follow. So I don't ever wish for anything to fail, but." I predict some shit is just like gonna fail. On the other side of this, like this one, while I don't wish it ill will, I didn't need it. I don't want a Joker origin story. He's so much better not knowing who the fuck he is or what the fuck, And they've done his origin, so he's got such a muddled origin.
They've done pseudo origin stories within the Batman movies, some of which were incredibly good.
Joe Chill. He was Red Hood. And there's so many things where you don't know who the fuck he is. Now, currently in the Batman universe, there are 3 Jokers.
Yeah,
and that's a thing, and that's coming up. Right? Again, something we're looking forward to that I wrote down, reading wise. There's something to do with 3 Jokers that apparently have been running around the universe in the main DC universe. There are 3 of them. So 3 different personalities, which kind of explains why he's a different character-ish in some comic books, Something is going on there, and I haven't really kept up with it, but I kind of want to go back and read some of that shit. So I'm going to see what's going on with that. But he's just this mysterious character where you're like, I don't know what the fuck he is. That spoke to me. I loved that part of him. So when they're like, oh, we're going to do an origin story on him, I'm like, whatever. The trailer got me a little more intrigued with it, especially when you add in, 1, Joaquin Phoenix. I like him as an actor. And then 2, when they say, this is going to, it's not pulling from any specific comic that you know. It's just a take on the character. Okay, now we're doing an Elseworlds kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I can kind of get behind it a little bit.
We'll see. I mean, I think for me, for the Joker to remain interesting, you have to have a dark origin story. Yeah. Or it's not
I think
good.
So too.
It has to be funny in a perverse, inappropriate, but not comedic way, really. It's more than that. It's painfully funny. I don't know.
Yeah. It makes you cringe a little bit.
Yeah. Cringeworthy funny. Yeah, that's probably it.
Half of my humor.
Yeah. I'm aside from the director, I'm actually a little worried about Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker, honestly.
Yeah, you think so?
I like him. But some of the favorite roles for me that he's done are like the Emperor and the Gladiator. That ain't no Joker role.
Oh yeah, okay.
So We'll see. We talked about Signs a few weeks ago. I love that movie, but I mean, he plays sort of an idiot. I don't know.
Yeah,
he's not funny,
yeah,
that's
true.
for sure.
Yeah.
He's not funny in anything I can think of, really.
I don't think so. Again, I don't want it to bomb. I'm going to be interested in it. I'm not going to see it in the theater, I don't think, unless we make it a thing and we go see it. I don't see me going to see it in the theater, but we'll see. We only got a couple months before it comes out, so we'll find out. I hope you guys do good. I don't know. Jump into very briefly, because I really have nothing much to say about this except for the science fiction part of it kind of intrigues me. Gemini Man.
Gemini Man.
Yeah,
so that's going to be starring
Will Smith.
Will Smith, yep.
And Will Smith.
And Will Smith.
So basically, and they let it all out in the trailer, which I'm not sure. Again, I think it's even based on a comic.
Is it?
But I think so. Because I seem to remember or maybe a book, but I seem to remember the name Gemini Man before. Okay, so somebody
I don't know. It
help me
sounds
out
something
with that.
like out of the '80s. You know, $6 Million Man. Or
Yeah,
something. I don't know,
but I seem to remember it being a title before too. So someone's going to help me out with that.
'70s.
Yeah, really. But basically, they kind of let the cat out of the bag in the trailer, where Will Smith, a clone of himself or whatever, is chasing him.
Without doing the time travel thing, it's a bit like Looper, where the younger, better, badder version of himself is trying to kill him.
Right. So, I mean, again, I like this scenario. And Will Smith, for me, is either hit or miss. It's either like he's Will Smith and he's good, or he's Will Smith and he's Will Smith. And and he's Will Smithing everything. You know, he's just woo and whatever.
Yeah.
You know? But
he's another one. Yeah, we talked about this with Aladdin. You know, he can really own a character.
He shocked the hell out of me.
But
in
he
Aladdin.
didn't do that then. But you know,
yeah, I really thought it was going to be bad with him in Aladdin. He shocked the hell out of me, so I'll give him credit on that one.
Yeah.
So going on the good feelings I have for Aladdin, I'm giving this one a shot because I like the premise of it and I want to see what's going to happen with it. All right, Zombieland, double tap.
Oh, so I'm kind of curious about this one. So Zombieland was.
I love this.
Zombieland was both funny and interesting.
Okay,
and I think
we all know me with zombies.
Yeah, and I think if I'm not mistaken, the original cast is intact for this. Yeah.
Yep.
So
surprise, including Bill Murray.
Oh, all right.
I don't know how the hell they're going to do that, unless they're like walking him around on a leash. But he's in there.
Okay. So, I guess the premise of this is that the zombies have...
Spoiler alert.
The few zombies that are remaining or whatever have somehow evolved, and they're bigger and badder and better, and now they have to fight them again.
Sure. Who knows?
Which, for a comedy action setup, can be really good.
Yeah,
I don't think this will
with
necessarily ruin it or anything.
The fact that they're finally doing it, and they tied in the, quote-unquote Zombieland 2 with one of the rules, the double tap rule, was funny to me. I was like, very good, very good.
Yep, and it's the same director, Ruben Fleischer, is also doing this one. He did the first one, so you're going to get some of the same camera angles, acting, kind of, yeah. So that'll be good. So I think it'll be great. Yeah,
very few times, I always get my hopes up for shit, and then I get punched in the face. So I don't like to get my hopes up for shit, but this is like one of those where, like, it's almost a guaranteed win. So I'm kind of hoping it's just a guaranteed win. So we'll see. Again, all these we're going to go over again with Paul in September. So look forward to that. We'll go in more depth. The Addams Family. Same weekend. This is an animated one. You've seen nothing on this?
I really haven't. I don't really watch cartoons much. I think I'm weirdo in the geek realm because everybody I know watches like manga, cartoon stuff. I don't know anything about it.
I love animated. All right, like I love the old school animated. The Infinity Gauntlet just went off. Noah walked in and touched the Infinity Gauntlet, and I was like making noise.
It's appropriate.
Yeah. All right, so the Addams Family is. You got to watch the trailer to it because, you go back to like the old school TV.
And this isn't a cartoon. This is like 3D animated, like
ish. Yeah, you got to watch. Yeah, you got to see the trailer. It looks really good. I'm looking forward to it just because I loved the few episodes of the old school show that I watched, and then I really loved the Raul Julia movies.
Uh-huh.
I love those. They were great. So I'm looking forward to see what they do with this one. Okay, so now we got Noah on like the last set of headphones, but his mic is shut off, so you really can't hear him.
All right, so Addams Family, 3D animated movie. When's it released? That's October
11th. Same week as Zombieland, so we're going to be busy.
No, I'm only going to watch Zombieland.
All right, then November 1st, you've got Terminator Dark Fate.
Okay, Dark Fate, yeah. All right, so this is another... Damn, can you keep going with this thing? Really? But
flip that around for me. Again, lowest common denominator. I pull this in with the Transformers with the Michael Bay, where I'm like, I hate these effing movies. And then they drop a new trailer for a new one, and I'm like, this kind of looks good.
Okay, so there's this thing that's happening though. So Schwarzenegger is in this again because he has to be in all of them. The series can't continue without him. He's like, I don't know, 104 now. No, he's like 63 or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
he's old though. He's old, and it shows. And so they've kept Linda Hamilton on as Sarah Connor for almost all of them. I mean, there's been some throwback catchbacks.
No, she was in the first two.
Yeah.
And then she was quote-unquote dead in the third one, so she was called back to...
She returned.
But this is like... I think this is supposed to be... Much like the Halloween, they eliminate everything after 2.
Okay.
So this is like a soft reboot from 2 on.
But it's still throwback to the original. It's a requel, yeah. But then, if you look at the whole entire rest of the cast, they're like... under 30s. You got Mackenzie Davis, Natalie Ray.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with this. There's that one Terminator that's like almost a human kind of. I don't know what they're doing with it.
Yeah.
Again, it's just one of those where I'm like, every time they drop a trailer, the thing that gets me excited about it is they brought back Linda Hamilton and James Cameron is actually like at the helm. I'm interested. 11/22, Frozen. Sorry, I jumped. 11/8. So November 8th, Dr. Sleep. It's a sequel to The Shining.
Oh, really?
Which actually, yes. And it looks... Now, the trailer looks really good. It looks like a semi-sequel to the Stanley Kubrick Shining movie. Mm-hmm. But it looks also like it might be sticking closer to the Stephen King book, which, again, goes back to my Stephen King stuff. King wrote Dr. Sleep, and it's Danny grown up with The Shining. So he's an adult now. And I think it's got something to do with... My wife read it. I have not. This is one of the few that I have not read yet. But, which really drives me crazy.
Is there a Reddit called My Wife?
Probably.
I don't think you should go there.
Don't go there. Don't go there. Holy shit. Whew, I'm glad Noah went to the bathroom for that joke. So... No, I think you missed it. It's okay. Come on back. He literally walked in. You threw me off. So Danny Torrance is back the dude is playing Danny Torrance. He's an adult now, and supposedly like people are like killing off. Something is killing off people with this shining ability, and he's investigating or something like that. So it looks good, and I'm looking forward to it. So you have nothing about that?
Nothing. No, I didn't know. I didn't have it on my list. I got nothing.
All right, cool. Moving on. That was easy. Frozen 2. November 22nd.
Yes. So Elsa and her sister Anna are going to go on some sort of adventure outside of Arendelle, right? That's
it looks like it. Looks like it.
And they're going to be joined by Kristoff, Olaf, and Sven for this. So it'll be all the original characters, I suppose.
Yeah, and all the regular voice actors come back. All right, so Noah, here, I turned your mic on. So Frozen 2, are you excited about it? Uh-oh. What do you think? Is it going to be good? Maybe?
I don't like Frozen.
Oh, you don't like the
You don't like Frozen? When he was like 2 or 3, he was like singing Let It Go?
Yeah, because that was when I still liked it.
Oh, okay. All right, now he's grown out of it. All right.
So they got a lot of old voice actors to come back for this, or not old, but
the original
voice actors to come back with Kristen
Bell's not old.
Jonathan Groff, Josh Gad. There's a bunch of them. Santino Fontana, and there's some new ones: Evan Rachel Wood and Sterling Brown. I think for the most part, though, it's all the originals. So I'm curious to see what they do with the story. That's all I can really say about it.
Yeah, I want to see because it looks like they're going beyond just like the winter. Maybe they're involving other elements like autumn or whatever. It looks like there's leaves blowing around. Who knows? Whatever. They might be involving other elemental powers, which would be cool. All right. Then you get into December now. So the middle of December 13th, you've got, which surprised me because I saw a trailer for it and I didn't realize. I thought it was next year. Jumanji: The Next Level.
So, my wife and I have had this conversation at some point, but the original Jumanji movie, I really liked.
Robin Williams.
With Robin Williams, yeah. And then there was another. We were talking earlier about there's two movies that are kind of alike. Do you remember Zathura? It was a similar.
Yes, yeah.
concept.
Zach Shepard was in it.
Yeah. I really like that too. But when The Rock did the Jumanji reboot, I guess you would call it. I don't know, remake, sequel. I don't know.
Yeah, this last one. Yeah.
I didn't like it that much.
Really?
I really didn't.
I really got a kick out of it.
You did?
Yeah. Again, LCD.
LCD. It's gonna be the new acronym.
That's gonna be me. LCD.
LCD. I didn't hate it or anything. It wasn't.
We enjoyed it.
It wasn't as good as the Robin Williams one to me.
No, and I didn't think it was gonna be. Much like the Aladdin genie thing, whatever. But I didn't think it was gonna be, and I liked the little tribute to him in that world. So it was kind of cool.
I didn't know there was going to be another Jumanji.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, there's gonna be another Jumanji.
Right at the end of the year. What was it? December 13th? Yeah.
That'll be a Christmas gift. We'll go see it.
So I am excited to see that Kevin Hart, Jack Black, and Danny DeVito are all this one.
Yeah, because Kevin Hart, The Rock, all four of the actors that played the video game characters are back.
Yep.
And then the kids are back. You see the kids in the movie. But then it looks like some of their parents or grandparents or whatever, two of the grandparents, Danny DeVito and Danny Glover.
Danny Glover,
play
yeah.
Two grandparents. And they get dropped into The Rock and Kevin Hart, respectively, instead of the kids. So I guess the kids become other characters in the game. And I think that's what it's going to be, is them trying to find these two missing friends in the game to get out again. So it looks good. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see when there's more info available. I don't know.
And finally, I guess the last thing we got to talk about
last
for
thing
movies.
For the year. Right.
For movies, last thing for the year, 12/20, Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of the Skywalker. Okay, so now I had talked about at least a few times in past episodes about how I don't like 7, 8, 9 as much. Right? For me, it was 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3 were okay.
Yeah.
7, 8, 9, like, ew. 7 was particular. Anyway, so my family decided they wanted to see Episode 7. So we started to watch that. I think it must have been Friday or Saturday night. Every fucking one of them fell asleep. They all fell asleep. Seriously. They were done. Wow. They weren't watching it. So, and I let it keep going. Some people woke up. They still weren't interested.
See, I liked 7.
This says something
Force
about
Awakens.
this movie.
Yeah, see, I liked Force Awakens for what it was. The soft reboot kind of thing, whatever, getting a new audience involved. 8 really just pissed me off from a writing standpoint. And we'll get into all that again right before it comes out, because we'll do a big in-depth thing. Because we're going to have to do our predictions for what's going to happen, whatever. And I really want, like all three of us there for that one. Because Paul and I did it. The three of us kind of like broke it down a little bit here and there. But I want to, like, right before it comes out, let's all get together and, like, do a whole Star Wars rehash again. Because, duh.
Again.
Thank you, Noah.
Again?
Yeah, it's like Yoda sitting in the background. we'll
again,
go over it again. Yeah. Again, you will review this. I don't know. I got faith in JJ. I think it's going to be good, but at the same time, he's got a lot of hurdles to get through to tie it together because of the jumble that Disney did, letting different directors kind of get in there and write their own story. So I think he's got a big task ahead of him. I'm rooting for him, but we'll see. All right, and then we'll quickly...
We can't close what? I got to do one more, and it's not this year, but I just want to talk about it because things have changed. The landscape has changed, and it's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Okay, so
Oh, James Gunn is back. I'm
yeah,
good.
exactly. So this should have been probably early next year if they had followed the original schedule. But of course, James Gunn got fired in July of last year, I think.
Yeah,
over
that
some
was
tweets he had made, like seriously, like a
10 years
decade
ago.
prior. Yeah, no joke.
Yeah.
And then so he apologized for them.
Good on Disney to finally
Yeah.
back off on their stance and say, okay, you know what, this is wrong.
Okay, but also good on them for another reason, because Gunn came out and said, yes, I said this shit. It was really stupid. I should have never said it. I thought it was funny back then. Disney had the right to fire me. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And then what did Disney do? But they went back and they said, okay, fine. You know, you want to admit it? You were wrong? We'll bring you back. And so in March, I think, it was just a few months ago, they said they were going to bring him back. Mm-hmm. So now there's a bunch of weird stuff happening, though, because he had already been brought on to do the Suicide Squad movie.
Yep.
Right? Which will be out, I think, mid-2021. Mm-hmm. But so he can't really direct the next Guardians of the Galaxy while he's doing the Suicide Squad stuff.
Right,
or at least, I mean, there could be some overlap, but not that much, right? So... So in theory, this could start filming maybe in 2020, but for sure it will be released after Suicide Squad. So our 2020 date for Guardians of the Galaxy 3 has now been pushed back to, if we're lucky, mid-2021. So you got at least 2 more years now you have to wait for this, right?
Yep.
Okay, so then the next thing about this is there's been so much talk about what's it going to be about and who's going to be in it, and a lot of this stuff is known because the script was written and the actors were hired, right? And it was only Gunn that messed everything up. Well, it was really Disney, but you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. It was Gunn via Disney's choice that delayed everything and messed it all up. So we already know Gunn has said this is going to be an epic, I'm air quoting here, an epic conclusion to the story for the Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
Yeah.
And he said it will end the current iteration of the team, which who knows what that really means. But if you take that in combination with what else he said, so it's definitely going to take place after the Infinity War series, right?
Yeah.
I think he said 4 years after in an interview, but it really doesn't matter that much how far. But anyway, it's after. And then he made a comment in one of his interviews about he was disappointed that he didn't get to finish. This was after he got fired, that he didn't get to finish the Rocket story arc. And hearing that, I thought, shit, is Rocket going to die? Is he going to be, like, out of the group? Is that what it means with epic conclusion and end of the current iteration? It's going to be a whole new team now? Huh. Rocket's going to be dead? That's over? So there's a couple questions. Did he say that because he's going to do Rocket's story arc? Is that going to be a big focus on Guardians of the Galaxy 3? Or did he say that because Rocket's going to go away? Or is it both? Who knows?
All right, so now for Guardians 3, Adam Warlock.
Yep.
Who do you want to play him?
Who do I want to play? I really hadn't even thought about that. Do you know
I
who's
saw
gonna
one.
play?
No, but I've seen one mock-up of Keanu Reeves, which,
maybe.
But then I also saw a rumor that, and this is also, everything is fan theory, right?
Yeah.
The kid from Stranger Things 2 and 3, Billy.
Uh-huh.
They're looking at him.
Interesting.
I could see him.
Okay.
I could see him. He everyone's like, oh, he might be younger than what they're looking for, but I'm like, no, I think that's about the right age because he's supposed to be like the perfect man, blah, 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 whatever. They do a good job of showing him off in 2 and 3. I think he's got the acting chops to pull it off. So I would like to see him try out for it, or at least I want to see who else they throw in the mix. But so far, out of the 2 that I've read, Keanu and him, I love Keanu. I mean, he's
I like Keanu too, but
I don't see him as
Warlock
Adam Warlock.
He's sort of like dry and matter of fact, and
this kid I think
Keanu.
can pull it off. I think the kid, I forget his name too. It's Deco something or whatever from Stranger Things, but he plays Billy in Stranger Things season 2 and 3, and obviously season 3, which we haven't reviewed. We should have reviewed that while Paul's gone because duh.
I did finish it. By the way. Yeah.
He was really good in it. So I can see him having the ability to pull off an Adam Warlock. So we'll see. But Now, what we did was we're at an hour and a half now. So we're going to...
Really?
Yeah, it took forever. Unfortunately, we're at an hour and a half. We had some family stuff come up, so Noah's hanging out with us in the studio now, and I got to get him ready for bed, so he's going to be grumpy here. But I'm going to turn his mic back on for a second because we're going to let him kind of hang out and talk. But we only got through the movies. And I have notes for like TV and streaming and all kinds of shit. So I think when Paul comes back next week, we should kind of
carry on.
We'll
and do
carry
another...
on. We'll finish this topic next week. So to be continued. But we'll do the television and streaming service kind of thing. And what we can do is we can kind of give him a heads up, and we can kind of let him know some of the movies and shit that we talked about.
Yeah.
And we started off maybe like a quick 15, 20-minute recap of his input to the movies, and then blow right into television streaming, because we got to talk about Disney Plus and the new Netflix stuff. And next year, Ghostbusters 2020, I left that off, but there's some reading stuff that I want to look at. And I heard read a rumor online. I have not confirmed anything yet, so I got to look into it. So you can help me look into this. Apparently, Warner Brothers is looking to do a streaming service too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I literally just read that today, and I wrote it down.
Not that we have time to talk about this, but I'm a little worried that all the IP owners are going to like try to do their own
It's
thing.
going to be more than cable.
And then, you're going to have... Yeah, they may be
Unless
$10
a
piece, but you're going to have
company,
18 different streaming services to get.
Unless you can get a parent
watch.
company to like give you a bundle deal, you're not going to, But then the last thing I want to talk about, and then we're going to go more in depth with Paul here, is the end topic for us was going to be what's coming for us. Okay, so for those of you listening, come up with like for the rest of the half of the year, we're looking at show ideas, kind of like we want to go. We're going to look into what kind of Comic-Con type of stuff is around Orlando for the rest of the year. If there's any like little ones. Or if not, maybe we'll like visit some comic book stores or whatever kind of thing. Maybe incorporating YouTube pretty soon. That'll be fun. I think just set up a camera and incorporating YouTube. And then...
you still have that camera, by the way?
No, we'll talk about that later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm getting the overhead storage, so this will all be cleared out, so we can start recording here pretty soon. So YouTube is coming. In what fashion, I don't know, but YouTube is coming. And Noah has been taking classes at... Florida Film Academy and Auto, so he can help me edit stuff,
all the
right?
film editing? Editor Noah?
He did it.
I edited a couple of movies.
Oh,
Yeah, you did. You edited yours, yeah.
I want to be in here next week.
You want to be in here next week? All right, we'll figure it out. Maybe we can get you in here.
There's another headphone plug.
There is. Okay, we'll get you in here.
There is. It's for the guest.
There is. You can be the guest.
First guest.
We'll center something around you guys where we can have you come in and sit down. But I think the show ideas that we're looking at is like right now it's broad stroke. So I'm looking at like holiday stuff, like all the month of October. I want to do stuff on Halloween, so horror movies and Halloween-esque stuff. From Thanksgiving through Christmas, I want to do like holiday kind of stuff like that. But any other show ideas you guys got, kind of hit us up with and let us know. I know there was a reason I actually turned Noah's mic on, and I can't find it now. It's in here somewhere, but oh well. Yeah. Sorry. But, okay, well, tell you what. Here, Noah, you close this out. Let us know. We just went to Legoland this week, right? So we talk about stuff to do in Florida. How was Legoland?
Good.
Leanne? Yeah? Did you like it? What was your favorite part of Legoland?
That I got to be in a hotel.
You stayed in the hotel, yeah.
Did you do one of the suites with the like Lego themed bunk beds and whatever they had?
Yeah.
How was that?
That was the adventure one, right? We did the adventure one?
Yeah, the top
I heard
floor.
they had like scavenger hunts in the room or something. Did you do one of those?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what did you find?
Yeah.
I found out the code to open the treasure chest.
Ooh, what was in the treasure chest? Wait, don't tell. It's a spoiler.
Oh, Noah hates spoilers.
I'm just kidding. What was it? What was in it?
Go ahead, tell him.
A Lego set.
Yeah, which Lego set was in it? I forgot. There was a Lego guy in there, right?
It was like the jet ski.
Okay, yeah, the jet ski. Yeah. So yeah, we had a good time at Legoland. It was on our bucket list kind of stuff to do.
I like the Lego Master Build.
Yes, you did the Lego Master Build. So what they do is
that's a little class thing they do.
they have a class there, right?
Yeah.
And the cool part about it is, like Noah sat in on 2 of them, one Saturday, one Sunday. And when you build that, they let you take it home. But the only time you can ever get that Lego set is right there. Mm-hmm. They don't sell it anywhere else.
So I have one complaint about Legoland. The food.
I've got a few, but go ahead.
The food.
Yeah.
The food is the worst of any theme park I've ever been to. It is bad. Bad.
Yeah.
Like, we sat down to eat at one of the burger joints on the south side of I don't remember what the hell it was called. And I ate this sandwich, and I was 2 bites in, and I told my kids, I guess you have to have some premise for this, but I told them, like, I'd rather be eating McDonald's. We never eat McDonald's.
Wow.
It's like super rare. Like, I just don't do it. I just don't like it. But I would happily go to McDonald's instead of this. It was bad. It really pained me. And when I told Becca, we had talked a while ago about maybe going to the park together, and I said, I'm fine with doing it, but we need to figure out a way that we can eat somewhere else for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah, we talked about it because there was a Publix right outside there, so we were like going to get sandwiches or whatever. But we just wound up eating there just because we were there. But the Publix was literally like right outside there. They had the buffet and whatever, and it wasn't horrible. They're getting better. So I will say, like what Heather and I said at the very end was, for the amount of money they charged. Again, she compares everything to Disney, so it's like no comparison, but. You compare it, and either they need to step their game up a little bit more, or they need to lower their price a little bit more. But they're close; they're getting there. So, but overall, it was a fun experience. And I dropped way too much money in Legos.
Well, so that's one of the beautiful things about that park that will keep me going back is that if you're a Lego VIP member, you can get discounts at the store, which no Lego store lets you do anywhere except that one.
Well, we've got all our annual passes now, so we can all go together. So there you go. We can do that. We can throw it on his.
Sets I got were like.
Hey, I got my Voltron set 20% off at that place.
Oh, he's got Voltron. Noah looked at Voltron, picked it up. I was going to let him get it.
Well, when I was there, they were having a deal on the Voltron thing for VIP members. It was pre-release when we were there, so they were like, "Oh, wow. You can buy it now and at 20% off the regular price." I'm like, "Oh, give me."
For the master build, I built an ice cream truck and a tow truck.
Ice cream truck and a tow truck. What they have in the store on discount when you guys were in there?
I forget. He got a Steamboat Willie Mickey.
Oh yeah.
And so and
like
it's black and white.
Like the 90th anniversary.
It's straight black and white
really cool,
too.
man.
It's wild.
And
he was like, "I need help with this."
And I got a triple-decker fighting couch.
Oh yes, from the Lego
triple-decker fighting couch.
Yeah, Emmett from the Lego movie. He makes the triple-decker couch.
I remember the double-decker couch. That was from
he made
the original
a triple-decker,
Lego. He made a triple-decker.
He made a triple-decker, and
it's
just got cannons on it and stuff. It's kind of wild.
What if there's a Lego Movie 3?
I guess we'll have a
quadruple-decker couch. Oh,
can we keep going? Quintuple, sextuple. Ooh.
Yeah.
I want more Lego Ninjago movies.
Yep. All right. So on that note, since we've involved Noah longer than he should be, and he's got to go to bed, we will pick this back up with Paul next week, and we'll carry on with TV and what we want to do with our show. And hit us up with your feedback. Let us know what you think of the movies that you're interested in for the rest of the year, and overall from 2019, what you're interested in, what you think is going to come up is going to be good, and we'll talk about it. So that's it. Hit us up on whatifgeeks@gmail.com, on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and we'll catch you soon. Good night, Tony.
Good night, Ann.